from linear to harmonic is an explanation of how natural musicians play music. This has not been deciphered, discovered, because we don't pay attention to natural musicians. We somehow invent ways to rationalize what we're listening to. Okay? Natural musicians seem to be void of straitjackets, so to speak. They can move within musical sound and pulse, which we usually refer as to rhythm. They can move around it freely. Okay? Yet, studied musicians can't do that. So there's a disconnection. So I see, from my first book, I saw that. But I think the more detailed book, which it encompasses all my points of views, and also points of views of two of my students from 20-some years ago, to round up this idea of what I'm trying to demonstrate. Actually, what a natural musician does is uses this preordained universal. This is something that Leonard Bernstein called a physical fact. This physical fact is what we know as the overtone series. The overtone series is nothing but a representation of a disturbance with its harmonics. And the pattern of harmonics is always the same. This pattern is a disturbance with this other disturbances that follow the first disturbance. And the pattern is right here on the board. It's 1, 2, and 3. Now there's 4, there's 5, there's 6. You can imagine a bucket of water that seems still, okay? And if you throw a pebble or something, it will make waves, okay? It will make waves, as many waves, depending on how hard or how big that pebble is, okay? So it's always one wave, and then 2, then 3, then 4, then that kind of stuff. The same thing happens in pitch, when you hear pitch, you hear a fundamental tone, but you're actually hearing a bunch of harmonics, okay? Why? It's a very interesting fact of nature, that nature is composed of a vibratory field, which is where everything is. And so when you disturb that field, it creates waves, okay? Just like the ocean and just like the bucket of water, okay? Those waves always will follow this whole number sequence, this 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, and so on. The book deals mainly with the idea of the fundamental, the first movement, its first harmonic, and its second harmonic. Okay? Because I've noticed that most, if not all, natural musicians that play ethnic music from all over the world use mainly this pattern for pulse. It also happens in pitch, but I'm not going to get into that. I think that pulse is more fundamental to music than pitch. Okay, pitches are played in pulses. Okay, a pitch will fall in pulse. Okay, so pulse in music we call rhythm. I call rhythm everything. Everything, because everything produces this pattern. And this pattern is what we call a harmonic event. It has one disturbance with all these harmonics. Humans have developed to be more and more linear. And what is that? What is the difference between linear and harmonic? It's very, very, very interesting, because the idea of linear means, when I hear the word linear, I think of a line, of going somewhere. You can think of time, the time in your watches, as linear. In your life, as a linear idea. You were born and grow old and die. It moves somewhere. It has this kind of idea. Linear time And linear understanding of the world is how humans live. We understand the world in a linear way, time and events in time. But nature is not like that. Nature is a bunch of stuff at the same time. Okay, it's not going anywhere. Seems to be. It's just all happening at the same time. How is that? Well, think of you're standing here and meditate for a second. Think of all the things that are happening at the same time. Okay, it's all happening at the same time, but you can only concentrate on certain ideas. You see, that's our linear understanding of the world. I speak in a linear way. I can say again, the kid kicked the red ball in front of the pond. And you can get the picture of this kid kicking a ball, a red ball, and there's a pond behind. So you see the whole picture, but I can't say everything at the same time. I have to say it in a linear way. Does that make sense? So linear, we use linear for everything, and we understand everything as linear. Yet nothing in nature is linear. Everything is harmonic. It seems like a paradox and a contradiction. And so it's nature. It is the nature of nature. Okay? So harmonic, everything happens at the same time, like when the disturbance happens or when sound happens. You go, sound, pitch is a harmonic event. There's not one wave, there's not one sound. There's a bunch of different sounds that compose this pitch that you hear. Okay, but you're not aware of this because your ear is listening to this pitch, and you go, well, that could be C or whatever note it was, right? The physical fact of this pitch is that it is a harmonic event. It has a fundamental frequency, then it has a double of that frequency, which is, we call it an octave, which is really the doubling of the same frequency. Then there's another frequency, which is 3 times faster. Then there's 4 times faster, 6, and depending on how loud and how the length of your pitch, right? The sustain, you can begin to hear harmonics or the harmonics manifest. It's the same as hitting a cymbal. It's going like this. You see, I'm stopping from the harmonics to appear. I'm stopping it. I'm going, see. But they're all there for a second. They're all there. You see, if I let it go, then the harmonics manifest. Okay? And you see how it will get quieter and quieter? That's a fact of nature. That has to do with gravity. And because gravity pulls on things, and so it will shorten the life of the sound. Okay, so the same thing when you throw a ball. You throw a ball, it doesn't, you throw a basketball. You take a basketball, you throw it, or a tennis ball, right? When it hits the floor, it doesn't just go like that, because gravity's not that strong. It just goes, you see. The same pattern of events could be recognized as this, okay? The more the harmonics, the fainter in the length, it will faint, it will go off, yeah? Everything is harmonic. Everything uses this pattern, like throwing of a ball, like disturbing the water, like this, like pitch. Everything is harmonic. Okay, it's a bunch of vibrations at the same time in a sequence, in a single event that produces all this stuff. So linear is one line of time. Harmonic is a bunch of stuff at the same time. Okay, maybe that makes more sense. My book deals with going back to the harmonic idea from a linear understanding. For example, you can have patterns, any pattern of music they might be written by a composer or that you might come up with or that you hear, whatever. How to apply this basic harmonic idea to any pattern so that you can play harmonically. Why harmonically? Because harmonically it's more. Okay. In a linear way, you can only play one thing at a time. Maybe I should demonstrate that at the drum set. So this would be a linear idea of a pattern. Let's see. See, repeating the pattern. If I do the same pattern in a harmonic idea, it would be like this. For example, so the harmonic idea is a bunch of things related at the same time. Okay. But the way it happens in nature, it uses this basic frequencies of 1, 2, and 3. For example, the harmonic pattern, okay? It down for you, that would be 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, and now I'm sending the 2, right? And then the bass drum is 3, so it's 3, 2, and 1. Okay. A linear idea of that would be it has all the same events, but they're not happening at the same time. Well, most of the music we play naturally uses this harmonic idea. But we've evolved to be more and more linear, and we've taken the approach of linear, everything linear. And so what happens with the linear approach is that it doesn't have all the elements. Okay, it's like buying a car that doesn't have an engine, you know, for example, and it works just by pushing it. You know, it is kind of silly, but that's the way we do it. Okay? And so I've seen this idea of the linear approach since I came to the United States to study, because I grew up playing music that is always harmonic. But I didn't know, because intellectually I didn't know that. I just learned how to play music by playing music. So this idea of linear to harmonic, I think, is a very important one, because it brings you back to your nature. Okay, and in doing that, it really will open up your mind to all the possibilities that are there that you've been missing. I mean, again, if you concentrate on one idea alone, which is, it can be equated to linear, you're just playing one frequency. In here, I'm playing 3 frequencies at the same time. Okay, so harmonic is more than linear. It's not better or worse. It has nothing to do with that. It's just more. Okay, I think we like more. We like more of life. We like more food. We like more love. You know, we like more of everything. Okay, except bad things. We don't want more bad things. Okay? We like good things. We want more of. So, in expressing yourself when you're playing musically, you want to express more. More does not mean more notes. It means more meaning, more meaningful. Okay, so the book gives you the possibilities of applying this to any pattern so that you can connect with this basic idea of natural players, okay, utilizing this basic frequencies, the relationship between this harmonic and the fundamental is unique, okay, because it's the basis of nature. The basis of nature is a frequency. And all frequencies can be characterized as waves, okay, as waves, depending on how fast or how slow they're vibrating, right? We call it different things. If this wave was vibrating at a trillions of cycles per second, like 375 trillion cycles per second, we would call that wave red in the light spectrum. Okay, so if the same wave, the same idea is measured at 375 cycles per second, which is where we speak around the middle of the piano, then we would call that frequency F sharp. Pulse, it would have a pulsation of beats per minute. Okay, and if you want to find out what the beats per minute is, study. Okay, or log into drum channel and maybe you'll learn something. This is the basis of nature. It's frequency. We play frequency. We play downbeats and upbeats, and that's all we play. Now, why is the 3 included? The 3 included is because it's a really interesting idea that does not happen in harmonic point of view. This idea, it's called a dotted note. A dotted note is an event that happens a third faster or a third slower than the pulse. For example, it would be ga, ga, ga. This is the pulse, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, or just 1. Okay? No, it has no bar lines, no measures, no anything. It's just pulsation. Then you add to it a pulse that is a third slower. Look at what happens. Da, 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 da. It actually creates that. So from a linear point of view, I get into a harmonic event immediately. Okay, so I saw that, and I said, that's quite interesting. And so I will write it here for you. So you have a pulse, just a pulse, and I'm going to write it as quarter notes, but it could be anything, okay? And so this denominates this just a pulse, dun, 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 dun. And this is the note that would be a third slower. Okay. I'm going to take this off and then rewrite it again with more notes so you see more repetitions. So to that continuous pulse, I'm adding a dotted note. And it creates 1, 2, and 3. Okay, that's 3 events, 2 events, 1 event. I thought that was quite interesting. So if I write more events, so you can see that the pattern will repeat. Okay. So I go dotted note, and it repeats here again. Dotted note, and it repeats again. Dotted note, and so on and so on. You see? So you have 3 and 2, and 3 and 2, and 3 and 2. Okay, forever. Wow, I saw that. That was quite simple and quite fundamental and quite interesting. So I really studied this for many, many years and found out that the only relationship that exists is that is represented in the wave, which is a downbeat and an upbeat. Okay, let's see. And everything we perform, it's either that or the other. Okay, twice as fast, 3 times faster, whatever. But that's all there is. And when I make the comment of there's no 3s, it's because of this. This wave only has peaks and valleys. Okay, 3 is its own event, its own harmonic. Okay. 1 does not have 3. 2 does not have 3. 3 doesn't have 3. Okay. 3 has 2s to it. It has. Okay. If that's the downbeat, it will have an offbeat, downbeat, offbeat, downbeat, offbeat. You see, 3 won't have 3 downbeats, 3 offbeats. Nothing has 3s. Okay. And this is a really difficult thing to grasp, but you must meditate on it a lot. Okay. So until you get it. Once you get it, you go, oh, and it frees you up from that subdivision, from subdividing pulses into different things. Because a pulse only has that. 3 is a harmonic event of 1. Okay, and 3 will not happen by itself. It will happen because there was 1 event. And then creates 2, it creates 3. Every one of these events has an offbeat. So 1 has an offbeat, 2 has 2 offbeats, 3 has 3 offbeats. Every individual event does not have 3s. It makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So, this relationship is fundamental because if you're in a linear idea, if you're in a linear way, seeing and playing music in a linear way, okay, no matter what the pattern, what the subdivision is, no matter what it is, you can turn any of those patterns, any of those subdivisions into a harmonic event. As simple as adding a dotted note to it, okay, which is quite interesting. Okay, so that's the topic of the book, and it deals with the basis of nature. The basis of nature, again, everything is harmonic in nature. Everything happening at the same time. Pitch, light, pulse, radio waves, X-rays, all this stuff are waves. They're events in nature. And they all are part of a harmonic system. This harmonic system will always produce this sequence. 1 disturbance produces 2, produces 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay? So, to give you one esoteric idea of how that works, we'll take a pattern of 11. Okay? 11. Okay, not many people playing 11. It's too big. Not many people playing 11. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Remember that most ethnic music is 3 and 2. Okay. So 11 is quite outrageous. Okay. But we come up with ideas like that. They're inventions. Okay. There's nothing wrong with inventions. It's just what it is. So we have 4. We have 4. We have 3. To the 4, we apply a 3. It could be a triplet, like this. Triplet. Then another triplet. Okay. And then a dotted note. So that's 4 and 3, 4 and 3, and 3 and 2. Okay, I'm grouping them like this so you see it clear. Okay. If you count the events at the bottom, you'll count 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. And in the top is the 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Okay. I'll give you a taste of that. So I'm turning a linear event into a harmonic event. And that pattern sounds like this. bass drum is 3, 3, and 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay? And so immediately you're turning a pattern of 11 notes to a harmonic event, which will make it much easier to play, because you will always know where you are in a harmonic event. You have 4 and 3, 4 and 3, and 3 and 2. The first idea is 3 and 2, right? Okay, and then 4 and 3, which is the same as 3 and 2, but twice on the 4. Okay, and that's as far as you need to go, because that's the only relationship there is. Okay, that is the essence of the book, From Linear to Harmonic. And I hope you have enjoyed this explanation, and we'll see you soon.